My child, I need your attention immediately. Do not scroll. Do not hesitate. Do not tell yourself you will return later. Remain here with me. I am Jesus, and I am speaking to you with urgency because this moment was not formed by chance. This very second was written into eternity before the world knew your name. Before you took your first breath, before your heart learned disappointment, before your soul carried questions too heavy to speak aloud, I knew this meeting would happen. Heaven has interrupted your path because what you are about to hear cannot wait. Time matters here. Your soul matters here. And I need you to listen as quickly and as carefully as you can. This message is not random. It was not released into the world for everyone to hear. Many will pass by it without understanding, without feeling the weight of it, without recognizing its significance. But you are here because your spirit was drawn, because your heart is searching even when your mind feels tired. You were chosen for this moment. I am not speaking generally. I am speaking personally. I am speaking to you because your soul is standing at a threshold, and you may not even realize how close you are to something that can change everything you thought you knew about yourself, your pain, and your purpose. Listen closely now, because I must speak plainly. If you skip this, if you leave before my words reach the depths of you, something important may be delayed. Not taken from you forever, but delayed. Healing you have been waiting for. Clarity you have been praying for. Direction you have been begging me to show you. There are seasons where timing matters more than comfort, and this is one of those seasons. I am not trying to frighten you. I am trying to awaken you. There are doors that open only when you listen, when you stay, when you trust me enough to remain even when your mind wants to rush ahead. What I am about to speak carries a hidden truth. Not hidden to confuse you, but hidden because it can only be received by a heart that is ready. This truth will begin to unlock understanding about your life that has felt scattered and confusing. It will help you see why certain wounds cut so deeply, why certain patterns keep repeating, why you have felt pulled in directions you could not explain. This truth will not shame you. It will not condemn you. It will illuminate you. It will bring light into places you have avoided because you were afraid of what you might find there. I see you. I need you to hear that clearly. I see your heart when it is overwhelmed and quiet at the same time. I see the tears you wipe away quickly so no one asks questions you do not know how to answer. I see the exhaustion that sleep does not fix, the confusion that prayer sometimes feels like it does not touch. I see the strength you show outwardly and the weariness you carry inwardly. Nothing about you is hidden from me. Nothing about your struggle has gone unnoticed. I am not distant from your pain. I am not unaware of your questions. I am not impatient with your process. I speak with authority, but also with love. I am not here to force you. I am here to guide you. When I tell you to stop and remain, it is not to control you, but to protect you from rushing past what your soul desperately needs. I have watched you try to figure things out on your own. I have seen you analyze, overthink, replay conversations, revisit old wounds, and question your worth. I know how tired you are of carrying answers that never fully satisfy. That is why I am speaking now, clearly, gently, firmly. Because I love you too much to stay silent when your heart is ready to hear. Transformation is coming, but not through fear, not through pressure, not through guilt. Transformation comes through truth, through intimacy, through revelation that feels like light slowly filling a dark room. I am not here to overwhelm you with information. I am here to realign you with what is true. You do not need to become someone else to receive what I am offering. You do not need to fix yourself first. You need to listen. You need to stay. You need to allow me to speak into the places you have guarded because you were afraid of being disappointed again. There is a reason your spirit feels stirred right now. There is a reason something inside you is telling you this matters. That is not imagination. That is not coincidence. That is my presence drawing near, asking you to trust me for a few more moments. I know you have trusted before and felt let down by people, by circumstances, even by your own expectations. I know that makes you cautious. I am not offended by your caution. I am patient with it. But I am also inviting you to lay it down, just for now, so you can hear what I have been trying to say to you for longer than you realize. Stay with me until the end. Not because I demand it, but because what comes at the end will settle something inside you. It will bring peace where there has been tension, clarity where there has been confusion, purpose where there has been doubt. You will not leave the same way you entered. You may not have every answer immediately, but you will have direction. You will have reassurance. You will have the quiet confidence that you are seen, known, and not walking alone. This is not a message of hype. It is a message of alignment. It is not meant to rush you into action, but to anchor you in truth. I am with you right now. I have been with you longer than you remember. And if you will stay, if you will listen, if you will allow your heart to soften instead of brace itself, you will begin to understand why you are here, why your life has unfolded the way it has, and why your story is far from over. Type Amen. I believe in miracles if you know God is still moving mountains in your life. I saw you before you were broken, before your heart learned how to protect itself, before your mind learned to replay pain, before your soul learned the language of disappointment. I knew you. I knew you not as you see yourself now, but as I formed you. Before you were born, before your name was spoken by human lips, before the world placed expectations on you, I held you in my knowing. I did not discover you later. I did not come to understand you after you failed or suffered. I knew you completely from the beginning. I saw the tenderness of your spirit before life hardened parts of you. I saw the joy you carried before sorrow interrupted it. I saw the courage within you before fear tried to convince you that you were weak. Nothing about you is unfamiliar to me. Nothing about your journey has caught me off guard. When I formed you, I did so with intention. Every detail of your heart, every depth of your emotion, every sensitivity you sometimes wish you did not have, I placed there. I knew how deeply you would feel things. I knew how much words would affect you. I knew how strongly you would love, and I also knew how deeply that love could wound you when it was not returned or protected. I did not make a mistake in creating you the way you are. The world may have treated your softness as a weakness, but I saw it as a capacity for great love and understanding. Long before pain touched you, I saw the strength that would be required to survive what you would face, and I placed that strength within you quietly, faithfully, patiently. Your wounds did not surprise me. The moments that broke you open, the experiences that left marks you still carry, the words spoken over you that never should have been said, I saw them all before they ever happened. I was not absent when they occurred. I was not distant, nor was I unaware. I was present even when you could not feel me. I was watching, not as a detached observer, but as one whose heart ached with yours. when you were hurt by those you trusted, when circumstances unfolded in ways you did not understand, when life took turns you never imagined. I did not step away from you. I stayed close, even when my presence felt quiet. You may wonder why I did not stop certain things, why I allowed pain to touch you, why the path seemed so difficult at times. I need you to hear this clearly. Your pain was never meaningless. It was never random. It was never a punishment. It did not occur because you were unworthy or because I turned away from you. Some things happen because you live in a broken world filled with broken people making broken choices. But even in that reality, I was weaving something greater than what you could see in the moment. I was not wasting your suffering. I was not ignoring your cries. I was shaping you in ways that could not be accomplished through ease alone. I saw you when you questioned yourself. I saw you when you blamed yourself for things that were never your fault. I saw you when you replayed moments over and over, wondering what you could have done differently, wondering if you were too much or not enough. I saw the nights you lay awake, the days you functioned while feeling empty, the quiet moments where tears came without warning. None of that made me turn from you. None of that made me disappointed in you. I did not see failure where you see failure. I saw endurance. I saw resilience being formed in you, even when you felt like you were barely surviving. Your past is not a collection of mistakes to be ashamed of. It is a story of preparation. Every season you thought broke you was shaping discernment within you. Every disappointment was teaching you what truly matters. Every delay was strengthening your ability to wait without losing hope. Even the wrong turns, the decisions you regret, the moments you wish you could undo, I have been able to redeem them. I am not limited by your history. I am not restricted by your past. I work with truth, grace, and time, and I can bring purpose out of what you thought disqualified you. You were not weak because you struggled. You were not faithless because you questioned. You were not broken beyond repair because you fell apart at times. You were human, learning to live, learning to trust, learning to breathe through pain you never expected to carry. I never expected perfection from you. I never asked you to be unscarred. I asked you to keep your heart open enough for me to work within it. And even when your heart closed itself off for a season just to survive, I did not abandon you. I waited patiently, gently, until you were ready to feel again. I saw you before the world told you who you should be. I saw you before comparison entered your thoughts. I saw you before shame tried to define you. I saw you before fear took root. The identity I gave you has not changed, even if you lost sight of it for a while. You are still who I created you to be. Pain did not erase your purpose. Failure did not cancel your calling. Delay did not mean denial. Everything you have walked through has been adding depth to you, even when it felt like it was taking something away. Please support our channel. Our aim is to bring happiness into your life and encourage devotion to God. If you wish to support our work, you can donate through Super Thanks. There were moments when you thought you were falling behind, when you felt like others were moving forward, while you remained stuck. I was not holding you back. I was preparing you. I was teaching you things that cannot be learned quickly. I was strengthening your inner life so that when you step into what I have prepared, you will not be crushed by it. What you are carrying now is not just survival. It is wisdom. It is compassion. It is strength that comes from knowing pain and choosing to keep going anyway. I saw you before you were broken, and I see you now as you are being restored. I am not finished with you. I am not done shaping your story. The chapters you wish were erased have become the foundation for what is coming. You are not behind. You are not lost. You are not too damaged to be used for something beautiful. You are becoming, even now, someone who understands grace in a way that only comes through lived experience. Trust me when I tell you that your life has meaning beyond what you can currently see. Trust me when I say that the pain you endured did not disqualify you but refined you. I have always known who you are, and I have always known where I am leading you. The same hands that formed you before you were broken are the hands that are holding you now. And those hands do not let go. You felt forgotten because I was closest. I know that sounds difficult to understand, especially when you were praying and hearing no answer, when you were calling my name and the silence felt heavier than words. I know how deeply that silence unsettled you. I know how it made you question whether I was still listening, whether I still cared, whether you had somehow drifted beyond my reach. But I want you to hear me clearly now. My silence was never absence. My quiet was never neglect. There were seasons when I drew nearer than ever before, yet I did so in ways your pain could not immediately recognize. There were moments when you poured your heart out to me, asking for direction, relief, clarity, and you felt as though your prayers rose into an empty sky. You waited for signs, for confirmation, for something unmistakable, and instead you were met with stillness. That stillness felt cruel at times. It felt like being overlooked. It felt like standing in the dark while others seemed to walk in light. But I was there, closer than your breath, working in ways that could not be rushed or explained without losing their purpose. I did not ignore your prayers. I gathered every one of them. Some prayers I answered immediately in ways you noticed. Others I answered quietly, beneath the surface where roots grow and foundations are strengthened. And some prayers I held for a time, not because I wanted to withhold good from you, but because answering them too soon would have harmed you in ways you could not yet see. I see the whole path. You only see what is in front of you. When I am quiet, it is often because I am protecting you. In those silent seasons, I was teaching you to listen with your spirit instead of only your emotions. Noise can be deceptive. It can feel comforting even when it leads you astray. Stillness, though uncomfortable, creates space for discernment. In the quiet, I was aligning things you could not align on your own. I was removing influences that would have confused you. I was shielding your heart from decisions that would have cost you peace later. I was guiding you, not by pushing you forward, but by holding you steady. You assumed that closeness would feel loud, dramatic, undeniable. But I often come gently. I often come quietly. I often come so near that my presence feels like nothing at all because it becomes woven into you. When I am closest, I do not always announce myself. I steady you. I calm you. I hold you together when you are on the edge of breaking. And because you are human, you sometimes mistake that steadiness for nothing happening. But much was happening. There were battles around you that you never saw. There were moments when harm was approaching, and I diverted it before it reached you. There were conversations that could have damaged you that never happened. There were paths you almost took that would have led to deeper pain, and I closed them quietly, without explanation. There were people whose intentions were not pure, whose influence would have weakened you, and I removed them, even when their absence hurt. You solace. I sow rescue. You were protected more than you realize. While you were asking me why I was silent, I was standing between you and things that would have shattered you. I was fighting battles you were too weary to fight. I was holding back what you were not ready to carry. And sometimes the greatest protection looks like delay, looks like unanswered prayer, looks like stillness when you want movement. I know you questioned yourself in those seasons. You wondered if you had done something wrong, if you had failed me, if your faith was insufficient. You measured yourself against others and wondered why their prayers seemed answered while yours remained hanging. I never measured you that way. I never withdrew because of disappointment. I never went quiet because you were unworthy. I was close because you were precious, and I was guarding what I placed within you. A stillness was not punishment. It was preparation. It was a sacred pause where I was strengthening your inner life so that when answers came, you would be able to hold them. There are blessings that require maturity to steward. There are revelations that require humility to understand. There are doors that require discernment to walk through without losing yourself. In the quiet, I was growing you into someone who could receive without being destroyed by the weight of it. I was also teaching you trust that does not depend on constant reassurance. I know how much you wanted confirmation. I know how much you longed for certainty. But faith deepens when it learns to rest in who I am, not only in what I do. In the silence, you learn to keep going even when you did not feel carried. You learned to choose hope without immediate reward. You learned endurance, not because I enjoy seeing you struggle, but because endurance produces strength you will need. There were times when you felt alone even in a room full of people. Times when you smiled outwardly while your heart felt empty. I was there in those moments, sitting with you in ways no one else could. I was there in the quiet of your thoughts, in the pauses between your breaths, in the ache you could not explain. I was not distant. I was intimate. I was present in the places words could not reach. I know the silence made you afraid that I had moved on, that you had missed something important. But I do not move away from my children. I do not abandon those I love. When I draw near, it is not to confuse you, but to anchor you. The stillness was an invitation to rest your striving, to loosen your grip, to let me work without interruption. You were not being ignored. You were being held. Comment amen. You reign in my heart, Jesus, if He's truly Lord of your life. Even now, as you reflect on those seasons, you may still feel some unresolved questions. That is all right. Understanding unfolds in layers. Some answers only make sense in hindsight. Some reasons are revealed slowly, gently, when your heart is ready to receive them without bitterness. Trust me when I tell you that nothing was wasted. Not a single prayer, not a single tear, not a single moment of convivium. All of it has been shaping you into someone with depth, compassion, and wisdom. I was closest when you felt forgotten because I was doing what only closeness can do. I was protecting, refining, strengthening, and guiding you in ways that did not draw attention to themselves. I was with you in the silence, and I am with you now. You were never abandoned. You were never overlooked. You were being prepared for what comes next. The weight you have been carrying was never meant for you. I see it pressing on your chest when you wake up and following you into sleep at night. I see how it has slowly drained your strength, how it has made even simple things feel heavy, how it has convinced you that exhaustion is just who you are now. But I need you to hear me clearly. I did not design you to live under this constant strain. I did not ask you to hold everything together on your own. Much of what you have been carrying did not come from me, even though you believe it was your responsibility to bear. You have been tired in ways that rest alone could not fix. Not just physically, but emotionally and inwardly. Your mind rarely feels quiet. Your heart rarely feels light. Even when things appear calm on the outside, something inside you stays tense, as if you are always preparing for the next problem, the next disappointment, the next demand. You have learned to brace yourself, to stay alert, to anticipate what might go wrong. That vigilance may have helped you survive difficult seasons, but it was never meant to become your permanent state. Fear has played a role in this weight. Not always loud fear, not always obvious panic, but subtle fear that whispers responsibility into your thoughts. Fear that tells you if you do not stay in control, everything will fall apart. Fear that convinces you that rest is risky, that letting go means failure, that trusting me fully might leave you unprotected. This fear did not begin because you are weak. It grew because you have been hurt before. You learned that things can change suddenly, that people can disappoint, that stability can vanish without warning. And so you adapted by carrying more than you were meant to carry. Alongside fear, there had been self-blame. You have replayed moments in your mind, asking yourself what you should have done differently. You have taken responsibility for outcomes that were never fully in your control. You have assumed fault for pain that was caused by others or by circumstances beyond you. Over time, that self-blame became another burden on your shoulders, quietly telling you that you must try harder, be better, stay vigilant, never slip. I never asked that of you. I never spoke those demands over your life. You have been striving in ways you do not even recognize anymore. Striving to prove your worth. Striving to avoid mistakes. Striving to keep peace. Striving to meet expectations, both spoken and unspoken. Even in your relationship with me, there were moments when you felt you had to earn closeness, earn favor, earn rest. You thought that if you paused, if you slowed down, if you admitted how tired you were, you might disappoint me. That belief did not come from me. I do not measure your value by your output. I do not love you more when you carry more. Control has felt like safety to you. Managing details, planning ahead, staying mentally busy, holding yourself together at all costs. I understand why you reached for control. When life felt unpredictable, control felt like the only way to survive. But control, when carried too long, becomes another form of exhaustion. It asks you to be everywhere at once, to foresee everything, to fix what you were never meant to fix. It drains you slowly, quietly, until you forget what it feels like to be at peace. I am not calling you out for this. I am calling you out of it. I am inviting you to release what has been crushing you. Not all at once, not perfectly, but honestly. You do not have to keep proving that you can handle everything. You do not have to keep holding yourself together to earn rest. You do not have to keep carrying burdens I never placed on you. My invitation has always been simple, even when you made it complicated. Come to me. Let me carry what you cannot. Rest does not mean giving up. Rest does not mean failure. Rest does not mean you are weak or irresponsible. Rest means you are finally trusting that you are not alone. Rest means you are allowing me to be who I have always been in your life. You were never meant to be your own savior. You were never meant to be your own strength. You were meant to be held, guided, sustained. I see how difficult it feels for you to loosen your grip. Letting go feels unsafe because you have relied on effort for so long. But I am gentle with you. I am not demanding an instant release. I am asking for willingness. Willingness to admit that you are tired. Willingness to acknowledge that some of what you carry belongs to me. Willingness to trust that I can hold what you lay down without letting it harm you. You may feel ashamed of how exhausted you are, as if you should be stronger by now, as if you should have figured this out already. I do not shame you. I do not look at your weariness with disappointment. I look at it with compassion. You have been strong for a long time. You have endured more than many realize. Rest is not a reward you earn after proving yourself. It is a gift I offer because I love you. When you rest in me, you are not abandoning responsibility. You are placing it in the right hands. When you stop striving, you are not becoming careless. You are becoming aligned. When you release control, you are not inviting chaos. You are inviting my peace to settle where tension once lived. I am capable of guiding your life without your constant vigilance. I am able to work even when you are still. You do not need to apologize for needing rest. You do not need to justify slowing down. You do not need to explain your limits to me. I already know them, and I designed you with them on purpose. You were not meant to run endlessly. You were meant to walk with me, to pause with me, to breathe with me. The pace you have been keeping is not sustainable, and I do not want you to break before you learn how to be still. There is rest for you that carries no shame. Rest that does not require guilt. Rest that does not demand perfection. Rest that restores rather than delays. This rest does not remove you from purpose. It prepares you for it. It quiets the noise so you can hear my voice more clearly. It softens your heart so you can receive without fear. It heals places you did not know were wounded. Let me say this gently but firmly. You do not have to carry everything anymore. You are allowed to lay things down. You are allowed to stop striving. You are allowed to trust me with outcomes you cannot control. I am not disappointed in you for being tired. I am inviting you to come closer so I can give you rest that reaches deeper than sleep, rest that reaches your soul. The weight you have been carrying was never me, and you do not have to carry it one more day alone. The lie that stole your identity did not arrive all at once. It came quietly, patiently, through moments you did not expect to shape you so deeply. It came through words spoken carelessly, through actions that wounded you, through silence where love should have been. Over time, those moments began to name you in ways I never did. They told you who you were, what you were worth, what you could expect from life. And because pain has a way of speaking loudly, you began to listen. But I am speaking now to expose what was never true. People placed labels on you because they could not see your heart. They judged you by a moment, by a mistake, by a weakness you were carrying at the time. They called you difficult when you were hurting. They called you distant when you were protecting yourself. They called you weak when you were exhausted. They called you too much when you were simply being honest. Those labels stuck because they came at times when you were vulnerable, when you were searching for understanding, when you wanted to belong. You did not realize you were accepting names that were never meant to define you. Trauma also spoke into your identity. Pain has a way of rewriting how you see yourself. It tells you that you are unsafe, unworthy, disposable, or broken beyond repair. It teaches you to expect loss, to brace for disappointment, to assume rejection before it happens. Trauma does not ask permission before it speaks. It simply settles in and begins shaping your thoughts, your reactions, your expectations. Over time, you stopped seeing yourself as I see you and began seeing yourself through the lens of what hurt you. The enemy took advantage of those wounds. He whispered lies that sounded like your own thoughts. He told you that your value depended on your usefulness, that your worth depended on approval, that your identity depended on success. He convinced you that you were only as good as your last achievement, your last decision, your last performance. He told you that failure defined you, that weakness disqualified you, that being loved required effort and perfection. And because those lies aligned with your pain, they felt believable. But I never called you by those names. I never labeled you by your wounds. I never defined you by your worst moments. I never measured you by what you produce or how well you perform. Long before anyone spoke over you, I named you. Long before pain touched you, I called you mine. Long before you questioned your worth, I delighted in you. Your true identity was established before any lie tried to steal it. You are beloved, not tolerated, not barely accepted. Beloved, I do not love you because you do everything right. I love you because you are mine. My love is not fragile. It does not withdraw when you fail. It does not fluctuate with your emotions. It does not depend on your consistency. I chose you knowing everything about you, including the parts you struggle to accept. Nothing about you surprised me. Nothing about your story made me change my mind. You are chosen, not because you outperformed others, not because you proved yourself. I chose you because I desired you. I chose you because I saw who you are becoming. I chose you with intention, not obligation. You were not an afterthought. You were not chosen reluctantly. You were chosen deliberately, lovingly, fully. Even when you felt overlooked by people, you were never overlooked by me. You are known. Fully. Deeply. Completely. I know your fears, your doubts, your questions. I know the parts of you that feel messy and unfinished. I know the thoughts you never say out loud. I know the battles you fight quietly. And knowing all of that, I still call you mine. You do not need to hide from me. You do not need to pretend. You do not need to earn your place. You are already known and already loved. Your worth has never been tied to your performance. You do not become more valuable when you succeed, and you do not become less valuable when you fail. You are not an asset to be measured. You are a soul to be cherished. The world taught you to equate worth with productivity, to believe rest is laziness, to believe struggle is weakness. That is not how I see you. I see you as someone created with inherent value, not conditional value. Type Amen. I trust your divine plan if you know God has already written your future, and share this video.